Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're gonna have ourselves a 1v1 on Angoville. Our heroes today are going to be Alastor, playing as the Ostir, or Wehrmacht faction, in the red. And his opponent in the blue is going to be none other than Insane C++, otherwise known as Devem. Which, of course, you've probably heard of. So we got ourselves another good old match on Angoville. I see players, I suppose, getting ready for the tournament. The Operation Charlie Fox. Should be some good games when that ends up going on. But anyways, so we see Alastor going for tier 1 right off the bat. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Does get himself that MG42 because he can, and then goes for the 2 Grenadiers. So pretty standard. A little bit altering the order since the changes with the patch, but still pretty much a solid opening that everybody can do. 2 Grens and an MG. Can't go wrong. Far left hand side, rear echelon squad running to the very corner of the map, trying to avoid the range of the MG42, managing to do that in a little bit, but the MG42 repositions themselves, gets another angle, and the rear echelon squad instantly retreats as it doesn't really want to take any unnecessary damage. Manages to cap the far left-hand side munitions point, and then retreats, so it'll take a little while for Alastor to recover that territory. Grand squad capturing the fuel in the left-hand side, takes a couple extra shots at the rear echelon squad, as a rifle squad comes up on top of them, gets himself inside a bush, and takes shots at the Grens. Devem, for his part, no tech, of course. He is going for the lieutenant now, but we are already 3 minutes into the game. But he did go for 3 rifles to start off, and then after that, the lieutenant. So Grand Squad trying to hold the line against the rifles holding up a little bit until they get a better engagement. We see a bit of a flank coming up here for Mr. Devem. He has 2 rifles coming up from behind, and we see the rifles and rear echelons right up in the front. They're going to go pushing now. Yeah, the rifles are going to be opening up as they want to get out the arc of fire from the MG. And we see the rifles coming up from the rear. Nice little flank maneuver. Pretty standard, bread and butter, but executed to, well, almost perfection here. We do have the Doctrine selected for Devem, and that is the Rifle Company, as we see the veteran rifle squad on the field. Veterans 2 acquired. MG42 taking quite a beating there to the flanking rifles, and we see the Grens trying to hold the line. A little bit of scattered engagement here. Rifle and rear echelon squad engaging the Grens on the right. 2 rifle squads engaging the Grens on the left. Grens down to 2 men, forced to retreat. Devem holding strong with 2 men left on one of his rifle squads. Makes it, stays on the field. The other rifle squad on the right-hand side, not so lucky, down to 1 man, forced to retreat. But again, it does stay on the field. And once again, we see Devem going for the lieutenant and then into the utility car, which we have seen, you know, done before. I think that's actually the exact same thing we saw last time, right? So anyways, rifles on the left-hand side, 2 men strong. Or 2 men left, really, not really that strong. Going to be going for the fuel, managing to get that decap. On the right-hand side, we have the lieutenant squad being utilized to cap. Currently capping a strategic point on the far edge of the map. We still have the fueling in possession of Devem, while the munition has been pretty much ignored. Do have a rear echelon squad going over on the right-hand side, but Alastor not really focusing on the right at all. Tier 2 going down for Alastor. We'll see what he ends up building with that. And we see a second MG42 getting built for Alastor, as it looks like he wants to be able to stop the flanks, which Devem will probably be utilizing quite aggressively. Utility car popping its skirts, or well, not really popping, but researching. They're about to pop in 3, 2, 1, and there you go. Grens shifting over to the left-hand side, going to be engaging the rifles, currently capping the munitions point. We see an MG42 moving up to try to potentially stop the retreat path of the rifles, but the utility car now gets right on top of those, well, not Grens, but the members of the squad, killing one of its members, forcing it to pack up and leave. Gren's going to be getting off a Faust on the utility car. Utility car now has a damaged engine, but it's still online and active. We do see a pack-on getting built for Alastor from its tier 2 right away. And we see the flank coming down as the lieutenant and rifles are coming on top of those MGs. MG42 getting some shots off on the rifles as they are in the... where's the other squad? Oh, there it goes. As they are taking some cover in the bushes, it is only light cover, so they do end up getting suppressed. Possibly pinned down, although they do manage to move out of the arc of fire, so nope, no pin down goes down. And the lieutenant behind it, holding strong, just capturing some points as the rifles crawl their way into the territory. Nice little tag teaming, I suppose, there on the point. MG42 refocusing over to the north, as the other MG42 covers the right-hand side approach. So Alastor basically building himself a bit of a stronghold, even though it's not any buildings, but covering pretty much all the angles with both MG42s in the same location, not focusing on different sides of the map. Lieutenant engaging the Pio Squad on the right-hand side. Pio Squad capturing the strategic point and the victory point, forced to retreat, but with 2 victory points that actually put the bleed in favor of Alastor. 488 points to 453, really nothing much to worry about at the 6-minute mark, but you know, a couple bleeds here and there for either player. Half-track getting built for Alastor. Should be an interesting choice. Utility car taking some shots from the pack gun. Then be forced to pack up and leave. The crew inside did pop out and get some repairs going. Gonna have to do the same again. Gonna have to fill up that hole the shell did on the car. Put a little plaster there and paint it up again. Grant's trying to go for the fuel. They are down to 2 men, but it looks like Alastor is trying to hold on the field as the half-track comes into play. Half-track going to be moving up. Can get repairs going on the Grants. Well, not repairs, but reinforcing going on the Grants. And we see a big flank coming up here as Lieutenant pushes forward with 2 rifle squads. MG42 managing to stop 2 of the rifle squads, but the Lieutenant gets itself on the flank. Grenade does go off. Down to 1 man on that MG. The MG is currently getting desperately reinforced. MG42 on the back, turning its sights on all the infantry. Rifle squad down to 1 man, maybe going down. The second grenade goes off, getting some more damage in there, but the MG42 just keeps getting reinforced. Rifle squad down to 1 man, still pinned down. Second squad gets pinned down. Everybody forced to retreat. Engine damage goes off on the utility car. Can the pack gun finish the deal? No, it cannot finish the strike. But we do see flamethrowers getting upgraded on the half-truck. The half-truck going to be trying to burn off this rifle squad. Veteran rifle squad will be going down. I don't see any way it can survive this. There's nothing to stop the flamethrower half-track. There goes the burst, and down goes the rifle squad. The unfortunate loss there for Devon, but well, at least the utility car is still alive. The Grunts are trying to pursue it. They can get themselves in range for another Faust. Will they be able to do so? It does not look like that's going to happen. In the half-track no longer has the MG, so it wasn't able to provide any additional damage to the utility car. So, you know, small mercies, I suppose. Crew popping out of the utility car. Going to get some repairs going as we see a 50 cal getting built for Devon. Building any additional tech? Nothing just yet. Alastor also yet to select his own Doctrine. But we see rear echelons retreating from the far right-hand side as the Flame half-track moves in to try to catch him on the retreat. So Alastor feeling pretty comfortable here. We see a lot of members here of the MG getting killed. That is quite a bit, I think. How much does it cost? It's 22. So that's 3, 6, 7. I mean, that's a decent chunk of manpower they got, you know, taken out with the grenades. But unfortunately for Devon, the MG didn't go down, and even if it had gone down, he wasn't going to be able to steal it or anything with the half-track nearby, so yeah. Could have gone better, but at least those grenades created a decent amount of casualties. Rifles retreating with its lieutenant in tow. We do have flamethrowers getting upgraded on the rifles. This is the standard rifle squad. No veteran rifles coming in just yet. But if we remember what we saw last time from Devon, well, he is going to be utilizing the elite rifle training regularly. He's no, you know, he's not quite shy about it. Especially since he wants to keep that, you know, manpower utilized. Ooh, main gun destroyed on the utility car as the Pac-Man gets a nice shot off. Crew popping out of the truck. Faust goes off. Down goes the utility car, which is an unfortunate loss there for Devon. But again, like we saw last time, Devon on point on saving the crew. The crew does have a bazooka, which will help him out tremendously. The half-track actually taking the shot from the bazooka, bringing it down to about half health, forcing it to back up and leave. And yeah. So the crew is going to be following the rifleman with its flamethrowers, going to be helping out with those SMGs and potentially the bazooka. Bazooka not going to do too much here against the infantry, but it's another body on the field that can cap, so that's going to be just fine. Captain coming into play for Mr. Devon, so that is going to be quite nice, as once again we see pretty much the same thing as we saw last game. The utility car goes down, the captain comes into play, and that gives Devon access to 3 bazookas. which is a decent amount of anti-vehicle to mix in with his troops. And this time we see a steward. Did we see a steward the last time? Ooh, I can't remember. I don't think we saw the steward last time. I think we just saw the captain and an AT gun, right? It's kind of hard. It's been a couple days. But yeah. So again, captain comes into play, gets a nice volley off there. I don't know why I said it like that. A volley. A volley going off onto the half track. Half track down to about half health. The second volley would completely eliminate it. The ambulance pushing forward with the infantry, being quite bold, but it realizes, wait, we only know how to heal. We only know how to love. Half track taking an anti-tank rifle grenade to the face by somebody. The rifle squad over here. Almost gets taken out, very low in health with a damaged engine, but the captain is unable to push forward as we do have the MG42 on the flank, cutting off and pinning down the infantry. 50 cal machine gun trying to stop the approaching troops. We do have Panzer Grenadiers on the field for Alastor, and those are pretty good, but, well, they can't really rush a 50 cal head on and hope to live a tale about it, right? Back at base, no additional tech for Alastor as he does go for the mobile defense doctrine. Again, a doctrine that we've been seeing utilized quite a bit right now, so seems like the meta's starting to set in, I suppose. Steward on the field over on the far right hand side. Crew boldly popping out. This is a very risky maneuver there by Devon, but I suppose he is confident that most of the enemy troops are on the left hand side. We see Grenz and Panzer Grenadiers trying to get a flank on that 50 cal machine gun, getting some kills on it and forcing it to retreat. And Devon managing to capture the point on the right hand side, popping the crew back in, and the Steward is, you know, going along its merry way. Very risky because he doesn't actually have line of sight, even though that, I suppose, works both ways. It covers him, making it, you know, less probable that he gets taken out from afar. But, you know, it's always a risky maneuver to pop out of your vehicle like cab very close to enemy territory. So, props to him on doing that and pulling it off, I suppose. Far left-hand side, Pile Squad trying to go for the munitions. We see rear echelons going far, far behind enemy lines and going for the munitions. We have a captain and a flamethrower rifle squad going with them, putting themselves pretty much cut off from their base. We see the MG42 turning to face them. We have Grenz and Panzer Grenadiers moving in that direction. Even a Puma coming up, but we now have a Steward moving into the engagement. The Steward is going to be out-damaged here by the Puma, but it could potentially score a kill on the half track. Half track taking a bazooka shot and some Steward shots down to very low amounts of health. But now the Steward is, oh, it pops its stun. Nice. The vehicle crew could potentially get some shots off here. We see smoke getting popped by the Puma. Smoke grenade managing to break a line of sight on most things. The crew and the lieutenant do get themselves pinned down by the MG42. The captain forced to retreat. And we see that the rear echelon squad is really the only thing left in the engagement. Gonna be forced to retreat since it didn't quite turn out well for Devon. But at the same time, it didn't go that bad. I mean, it was an engagement where pretty much nothing happened. Got some damage. Oh, never mind. Wow, we see a sneaky rifle squad behind the lines managing to catch the kill on the half track. So that actually ended up being very good for Mr. Devon. So I'll just note it here so that I can actually look at it. There you go. So you should have seen it there. Little box over here with the picture-in-picture in the moment of the death of the half-track, which I missed, of course. So anyways, 50 cal pushing forward, actually being able to get some shots on the pack gun. MG42 in the rear getting some shots on the 50 cal, so the 50 cal gets suppressed. And eventually pinned down, which means it's not going to have any real effect on its gun, because MGs lose their effectiveness once they get pinned, essentially.
Let's get her going.
Lieutenant rushing forward, as it does have that Veteran Z3 speed buff. It's a very, very handy thing to have. It's very nice, and it actually helps to cap the map. You're not going to be utilizing the Lieutenant in the main engagement. Lieutenant, though, gets itself pinned down right at the beginning of the engagement, but kind of part of the plan as it leads the charge and absorbs the shots of the MG. The rifles behind them, able to close the distance, get right on top of those troops, and able to pretty much, well, do what it wants. The pack gun getting circle striped here by the Steward. Unable to finish off the pack gun crew, however, because it's just missing its shots. There it goes. So the Pack-On may be able to get targeted down here. We see that the Puma took a shot there at the Steward and did a little bit of damage, but it did not manage to proceed forward. Rifle Squad coming up on the flank, gets a rifle grenade going off on the Steward. Not the Steward, the Pack. Ah, damn it. The Puma. Slowing it down, meaning that it can't really pursue on the left-hand side with the Steward, and the Pack-On gets stolen here by Mr. Devon. Grent's trying to stop it. We do see an MG42 that is lost to the world, but the Grents seem to be trying to chase down the stolen Pack-On, but looks like they're not going to be able to. Steward getting repaired by the rear echelon squad and making sure that it's still able to return fire and engage rather than popping out the crew. And we see the Ostroupen reserves getting called in by Alastor to bolster his numbers, as he has suffered quite a bit of damage. Even a Grunt squad died at one point. I guess I'll try to look at that one too, so you probably know when it died. You know better than I do now. So anyways, one of the MG42s did die in the flank, but it's still there. Ostroupen squad's being utilized to recrew it. The MG42 comes back online. Steward getting some shots off on the infantry. Only 4 kills so far. Hasn't really done too much, but it did help out with its stunning and things of that nature. Pile squads and Ostroupen hiding behind the wrecked glider of the up-and-coming British forces. And we see the Major now in play for Mr. Devon as it moves by itself over to the right-hand side, capturing some territory because it can. 50 cal, going to be holding up inside of the manor house there that it looks like. Not sure if that's correct or accurate, but big house made out of stone, not a shack. Steward moving around in front of the enemy troops, getting shot at by the Puma. The Puma getting some nice hits in there on the Steward. Steward may actually go down here. The captain, oh, Steward takes another shot, very low in health, but the captain gets in the way, taking some bazooka shots at the Puma, scaring it off. Even continues to push a little bit further forward, trying to get some shots on the Puma, but wow, just missing completely. It looks like they don't actually want to kill the Puma, they just want to scare it. And that actually works sometimes, so you know. Threat of violence is almost as good as violence a lot of times, right? Lieutenant getting pinned down over here on the right-hand side as MG is managing to just, you know, shut it down completely. But the MG42, of course, is currently focusing on the Lieutenant, so we see the flanking rifle squads with their flamethrowers coming up on the MG42. We do still have 2 MG42s, but the other one is currently focusing on the north. MG42 turning itself around. Nice positioning there. Well, this one kind of overcharged both, but I guess that works. Rifle squad getting suppressed and pushed around by the Puma. Second squad going to be pushed around by the Puma as well. Grenade does go off on the MG. The MG down to 1 man. This, of course, is a... well, isn't that good? Yeah, that is. This one has more. That one, of course, was the... Ooh, oh, wow. Never mind. I'm trying to say stuff, but shit keeps kicking off. Down goes the Steward for Devon as he pushes forward, but he pushed right at the wrong time when the command tank hit the field for Mr. Alastor, but he does have a Sherman on the field. Sherman could potentially take down the Puma. The Puma is getting some shots off on it, but it's going to get Fausted, which is unfortunate. Can he finish off the Puma? No, misses the shot. These rifles guys have access to an anti-tank rifle grenade if they want to try to finish it off. There it goes. Oh, down goes the Puma, but the rifle squad almost gets itself killed off. Can it actually make it out of there? No, it's not going to make it out of there at all, and down goes the rifle squad. Well, he got the Puma, but it may have paid a too high a price there. Sherman taking some damage to the Faust and the command tank, crawling his way back to base. We do still have that bazooka squad, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, rifle squad lost its life as it yeah, as that happened. I also see that it's second rifle squad going down. Oh no, never mind. I already know when that went down. I was noticing he only had two rifles left, but no, he had a veteran rifle squad that we saw that died quite a while ago. Tellermine trying to get built as a Panzer IV walks over it. The Pios having to spread out as to not get crushed. Kind of a dick move there by the command tank. 50 cal gonna get engaged here by the Panzer IV. The Panzer IV should be able to clear it out relatively quickly. The MG crew sitting right in front of the command tank now takes a lot of damage, down to 1, and wow, gets cleared out very quickly. Devon losing his 50 cal machine gun in a very unfortunate way. Doesn't really help out. MG42 getting a pin down on the captain as he leads the charge. The Panzer, not the Panzer 4. The Sherman getting some nice shots off going there. Clearing out the MG, getting recovered there by the Ostrupen squad. The Ostrupen squad managing to recover the MG and retreat. The Sherman getting some more shots off. Down to 1 man on the MG, but it manages to keep it. Sherman needs to pop its armor-piercing rounds. Manages to only hit the wreckage here. And we do have another pack on the field for Mr. Alastor. He's going to get some good shots off there on the Sherman. The Sherman needs to retreat. Oh, Grand Squad down to 1 man. Almost gets cleared out. And the bazookas just continue to rain, continue to fly on the Panzer IV as we see a white phosphorus barrage getting called in right on top of the pack gun. Pack gun going to be forced to move out of the way. Manages to move out of the way quite successfully. And the other infantry are forced to retreat, which they do, leaving a trail of white smoke as they take some damage. We do have a bunker on the field there for Devim. Needs to get upgraded to med bunker. Not Devim, damn it. For Alastor, needs to get upgraded with some things and stuff. Gets to upgrade it with the medic bunker to help out here, but yeah, Alastor pretty much getting kicked off of the field. We do still have that 50 cal on the field. It has not gotten taken by Mr. Alastor. He does have a Ostrupen squad nearby, but it looks like the vehicle crew is going to go for the 50 cal. No, it's actually just going to stay there as the Panzer IV tries to crush them. Panzer IV tries to go for some hits there, but it's just getting assaulted here by the bazookas and the Sherman. Sherman could be able to finish it off here. It does have the armor-piercing round. It has the explosive rounds still activated, so it's not doing as much damage as it would want against the Panzer IV. So the Panzer IV makes it out of there, which may be, what happens here. So anyways, crew popping out of the tank. Very risky to do it at this point, but it's fine. Gonna repair the Sherman very quickly as the other vehicle crew is around there to help out. They know what they're doing. They can lend a hand. Oh, and the Sherman catches a very low health Panzer Grenadier squad on the left-hand side. It has, not the Sherman, a Sherman, because this is another Sherman, second Sherman. This one, though, does still have the high explosive rounds, which means it's not doing as much damage to the infantry as I would like. Still decent, though, but there you go. MG42 covering the far right-hand side approach as a vehicle crew is capturing territory. We do have the Sherman there. It breaks the wall open completely.
A capture point is under attack. We're getting plastered over here.
Back at base, we don't have any additional tech. Command tank still getting repaired. It lost its weapon at some point in the engagement. But the pack gun, of course, keeping it alive since, that's a thing. Another Puma getting called onto the field. That'll help out quite a bit against those vehicles, but with 2 Shermans on the field, it's going to be relatively difficult. Where's the other Sherman? Ah, there it is. Getting repairs going. Rear echelon squad helping out as the crew is still around there. Lieutenant engaging the Ostrupen as they move forward. Devim doing rather well this time around. We saw him suffering some unfortunate, almost, you could say RNG circumstances where he lost a lot of things. Remember, he lost a lot of Shermans needlessly very early on, or in some weird situations. Like, one of them lost as it got stolen because the crew wasn't able to get back in. The other one, some apparent pathing issues. The Sherman pushing forward very aggressively, getting behind the arc of fire of that pack gun. The Puma is still, however, able to get some shots off on it. We do have 1 tank with armor-piercing rounds, 1 with high explosives. Enough with the bazooka is able to take down the Puma very quickly, and the high explosive shots doing a lot of damage to the infantry. Pack gun goes down. The MG42 gets cleared out. Oh, everything dying over here on the left-hand side as a grenade goes off. Alastor throws in the towel after this engagement as he lost too much, and that is game. So yeah, now this time around we see the strategy working out rather well for Devim. Yeah, when you don't lose your tanks very early on, it seems to pay off. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.